And I'm just going to read my speech because I want it to be heartfelt and I want it to be heard and I want it to just resonate with you. So if you can bear with me just reading. Before we close tonight, I want to speak from the heart, and I want to speak from conversations I have had over the phone and with people this entire week, because what I heard this week is what brought us here tonight. But before any of those calls, before social media took off, before this meeting became what it is tonight, everything started with one single phone call. A 4-H mom reached out to me and said, "Dawn, something doesn't seem right." I asked her why she was so concerned, and her answer was simple, honest, and deeply emotional. "I want my farm to be here for my children." That one sentence, that one fear is the heartbeat of this entire room. Every person here tonight, whether you farm, support farmers, or simply feed your family, wants the same thing: a future, a strong food system, a place where your children and grandchildren can raise animals, grow food, and live without fear of being regulated out of existence. Her courage is the reason we are sitting here tonight. All week long, my phone has been ringing. One woman told me about her 12 years in traceability, how it shifted from producers helping producers to polished presentations, office decisions, and people making rules who no longer lived in agriculture in their day-to-day lives. She told me the disconnect is the issue. Another woman admitted she is terrified that if she takes her animal to a cattle show and a disease is detected, CFIA could come in and wipe out her entire herd. That's not out of the realm of possibility with CFIA. That fear comes from deep mistrust, and that mistrust comes from a system people no longer feel protected by. And before I move on, I want to share something personal. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry. I was a mid-sized vegetable producer, and bureaucracy killed my farm. That is why I'm speaking out. So when I talk about overregulation, when I talk about the weight of red tape, when I talk about rules written far away by people who don't live the work, I am not speaking hypothetically. I lived it. I lost something that I built with my own hands. I was a second-generation greenhouse grower because the system grew too big, too rigid, too disconnected from the land and from the people who work it. That is why this matters so deeply to me. I don't want to see another farm sold out by bureaucracy, and that is why it should matter deeply to everyone in this room tonight. What this week has made crystal clear is this: there is a massive disconnect between the people making policy and the people raising our food. Farmers want to grow food at a fair price, and consumers want to buy good food at a fair price. The problem lies in everything in the middle: the bureaucracy, the red tape, the overcomplicated system standing between farm and table. Be it right or wrong, farmers did not know about these proposed regulations. Board members did not reach the people they represent. Emails replaced conversations. That is how we ended up here. Yes, everyone has a piece of the responsibility, but everyone also has a role in repairing it. Now I want to address something that came up in almost every single phone call I had in the past couple of days. CFI says that the regulations are paused. Paused does not mean stopped, and we won't stop. Farmers have told me loudly and repeatedly that this feels like gaslighting, and the answer is no. We are not accepting this quietly. We are not just going to get used to it, and we know that pause is simply not stopped. And if you agree with that, if you want your voice heard, please stand up now. Let the people in this room, let the people in this room who are carrying this message back to CFIA hear you loud and clear. Paused is not stopped, and producers do not accept this. To our elected officials in the room and watching, you are public servants. Your job is to serve the people, the farmers and the consumers, the family, the next generation. Service means listening. Service means transparency. Service means meaningful change. And to the large scale and small scale producers here tonight, I encourage you, go have a cup of coffee with your neighbors. Bridge the divide. Unity across every type, every size of operation is the only way forward. Backyard flocks to major ranchers. Every operation matters. Every producer counts. This entire situation began because communication failed. Let tonight be the turning point. As you leave tonight, farmers and consumers, I want you to ask yourself, what can I do? What future do I want for my children? What kind of food system am I helping to create or allowing to be created? Because here's the truth. We, the people, the farmers and the consumers have the power to change this system. But it begins with action by all of us. Here are some ways that you can take action. There will also be an email emailed out to you, which is kind of ironic, me saying this right now. Create awareness, host local meetings, post on social media, talk to neighbors and friends, have a cup of coffee, petition, sign and share the Stop the New CFIA traceability regulations at change.org. Write letters and make phone calls. I did every day for 6 weeks to Rachel Notley's office, and my industry actually got an 80% rebate after that, so it does work. Write letters, make calls. Tell the following people to halt the regulations: CFIA, MPs, and thank you the ones that are here tonight. Federal and provincial ministers of agriculture, the Premier, MLAs, Egg Service Boards, Canadian Cattle Association, Alberta Beef Producers, Alberta Feeders Association, Alberta Auction Markets, Western Stock Growers, Livestock Dealers, 4-H Alberta, and the Alberta Prosperity Project. Attend industry meetings, participate in producer meetings, ag boards, town halls, and industry conferences. Show up where decisions are being discussed. Purchase memberships, support advocacy groups, apply for board positions, get involved in boards representing producers of all sizes, chicken boards, dairy boards, grain boards, greenhouse boards, vegetable boards, beef associations, and any other boards related to agriculture.
Like rodeos and stampedes for the live stream audience.
Absolutely. Sell or slaughter locally. Strengthen local farm-to-table food systems. Bureaucracy. I'm getting a little dry here. Sorry. Bureaucracy will hurt. Strengthen local farm-to-table food systems. Bureaucracy will hurt these small systems. Tonight is monumental, but it is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the beginning of a conversation, a collection. It is the beginning. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink. Tonight is monumental. It is not the end. It is the beginning of conversation, connection, courage, and collective action. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you for standing up. Thank you for fighting for your farms. Thank your families thank you for fighting for your farms, your families, and your future. Let's go forward together and make our voices impossible to silence.